Thanks, Tech Toronto. Thanks for having me. I'm Michael Tamblyn. I'm CEO of Kobo. In 2009, starting here in Toronto with about 20 people, we picked a fight with the largest e-commerce company in the world, the most successful hardware company ever, the most profitable search and advertising company in human history, and the world's largest book retail chain. 7 years later, with 30 million customers, millions of devices sold, a really good exit, and hundreds of millions of dollars of real live ebook revenue later, I'll take 5 or 6 minutes to talk about one particular thing from our story, how we became a company that operates in 20 countries around the world, with a third of our staff and more than half of our revenue coming from outside North America. Along the way, we'll talk a bit about weddings in Vegas, pajamas as an HR metric, snacks in Berlin, but all of it will be really about being international when you're just down the street in Liberty Village. We went global because we had to. It would have been so much easier to concentrate on 1 or 2 markets, but even when we were writing the first business plans in 2009, we could see that 3 to 5 companies tops were going to dominate ebooks worldwide, and we wanted to be one of them, which is a pretty aggressive statement for 20 people here in Toronto. But we made maybe 3 good decisions that right at the beginning helped to make all of that happen. The first was, we didn't do the obvious Canadian thing of saying, okay, Canada's not big enough, I guess it's all about the US. We could see already that the US was about to become a battleground. It was Amazon's home turf, Apple, Google, Barnes & Noble's home turf. Everybody wants to win at home. And it was going to be ugly and expensive there. So our list of countries had to be longer than Canada plus 1. That freaks out VCs, by the way. A long list of country expansions looks difficult and expensive, but that led to the second good thing that we did. We made expanding into new countries as lightweight as possible. We built partnerships with local retailers. We gave them an ebook experience that competes toe-to-toe with Amazon and Apple. They introduced us to all of their customers, sold devices through their stores, included us in all of their marketing. So we only hire a small number of staff where local knowledge is absolutely vital. 1 or 2 people to coordinate the sales and marketing side, 1 or 2 people on the book side dealing with authors and publishers. That's it. We don't build out offices. We keep our footprint as small as we possibly can. Everything else is run from here in Toronto. Third, we built everything. Infrastructure, apps, payment structure, e-commerce stack, assuming that we would be operating in multiple countries, in multiple currencies, in multiple languages from almost the very beginning. And for any of you that are gutting it out, getting in that first few revisions of the product, trying to keep things lean and agile, following an MVP philosophy, those decisions feel incredibly expensive. Your competitors are coming out with new features. You're working on stuff that nobody can see. It sucks. But those first 3 decisions were incredibly important. While our customers were all tied up in a very expensive fight for control of the US market, we quickly expanded to every other country that looked like ebooks could take off. And when they finally figured out what we were up to, we gained months, sometimes years of breathing room while they struggled to internationalize systems that had been built solely for the US. By then we had partners, we built share, we had market reach and recognition, and we weren't gonna go anywhere. We learned some things along the way. PR and marketing ends up being very different for every country, as you can imagine, but your PR or marketing firm from Canada or the US that you've been using up until you make that jump to international is probably gonna flame out when you go international. Over time, we've cultivated a string of small boutique shops in key markets. We manage all of that from a team here in Toronto. Your CFO either has to come in with some international experience or learn really fast and have some great advisors. Not all Canadian banks are up for it. Not all Canadian accounting firms are up for it. But most important for us was people. Having a large number of people working remote in a lot of different countries will throw a spotlight on every weakness you have in HR, in hiring, in performance management, and really your culture as a whole. With only a few people in each of the markets that we work in, those first hires are incredibly important. They are the ones who are going to be building relationships. They're going to be talking to media. They're going to be finding that next set of hires that help to build out the team. And labor laws in places like EU, Japan, are not like here. Hiring in North America is like getting married in Vegas. Could be for a good time, could be for a long time, but if it isn't right, you can part ways. Hiring in Europe is like getting a tattoo on your face. Pick a good one because it defines you, and it's pretty much forever. So we have to hire with that in mind. Do they have skills and passion? Yes, but will they still have that passion 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now? And once they're hired, we need to make sure that people have real connection and relationships with Toronto, even if they're the one person working in Sao Paulo. We use a ton of video. One department that has a lot of people working remote runs a daily 30-minute global video check-in. It used to be called the pajama check. Is everyone out of their bathrobes and in real life street clothes? But really, it was about personal connection for people who are spending the day working on their own. We do a lot of things like that to kind of foster and create that sense of belonging. Little things we found can trip you up. Like a lot of tech companies, we're infested with Slack, top to bottom inside Kobo. But it gets tough when you have a channel for monitoring the free food in the Toronto office, and the one person that you've got in Berlin puts their hand up and says, well, where are my snacks? Or when the pictures go up from the Toronto-only holiday party. Or on the flip side, where a person with 3 weeks of vacation here in Toronto finds out the new person they just hired in Barcelona gets 6 weeks paid vacation by law. But we figure it out, we take our beats where we deserve them, and we get better all the time. So going international was absolutely right for us. We wouldn't have survived without it. Each new market gets a little bit easier, and it's pretty great to be one of the few companies in the tech space anywhere in Canada that's running a truly international play where every decision that we make, every great thing that we do makes it better for all of our users all over the world. Thank you.
Questions?
Did you mind that there were no slides? Okay, good.
Questions are for you.
Ready.
Hi, thanks. So with respect to maintaining company culture while having these kind of one or two man remote offices, how do you measure success with company culture? What have you been, and how do you keep people from being isolated beyond what you've said?
So there's a ton of stuff. I mean, from the very formal to very rigorously executed employee engagement surveys that are running on a regular basis, to making sure that there is actual ongoing one-on-one contact between a person and their management, a lot of informal connection that's going on both on discussion forums like Slack, but also big stuff. We run a global town hall every week. 30 minutes Tuesday morning. It'll be tomorrow, whether we've got big news to announce or not. And it's both a bit of a pulse check for people, what's going on, what's exciting, what's new, but also just a little jolt of company culture. Oh yeah, this is the thing that I'm a part of. That's right. These are the people that I'm with. These are the people that I'm working for. Okay, yeah, I get it. So it's a lot of formal stuff and informal stuff at the same time.
Last question. You won?
Yes. What's my number one tip for startups? Work with people you love. Like, work with people that you care about all day long, who even when they drive you crazy, you want to come back and show up with the next day. Work on a problem that you love. because when it's really awful and the grind is really hard and you're making difficult decisions, you want it to be for something that matters to you. That's it. That's my 2. Thanks, everybody.